Hey, hey, hey. Hope everybody's doing good. Carl Bryan coming at you. Hope all is good in everybody's world. All right. And remember, this is a Q&A call, guys. You guys provide the Q. I provide the A. So let's get some questions flowing. And before I do that, I'm going to open up a couple folks and say hello. Who am I going to start with? I know who I'm starting with. Sharon. Sharon lives in Baltimore. Ravens fan. She's a little bit pissed off about the Ravens season. Yo, 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 Sharon, what's happening?
It doesn't mean I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl.
Is that right? I was literally just before this, I'm writing an email for tomorrow, and I'm trying to bring football into it. Not the easiest thing in the world. You're trying to be funny, but anyways. All
No,
good.
who was it? Kansas City versus that other team?
That other team? Tom
Yeah,
Brady.
the Tom
It's not
Brady.
the other team.
What are they
It's
called?
the Tom Brady. I think pretty much that's the theme. That's the theme. I love Tom Brady, by the way. I'm kind of funny. I love the Chiefs and I love Patrick Mahomes, but I got a man crush on Tom Brady. So I'm hoping for a really, really close game and something cool happening in the last 2 minutes. That's what I'm hoping for. So there you go.
Oh.
What happened to your Ravens?
That one.
What happened to your Ravens?
I don't know. There's still a man child in charge, but he's going to get next year.
What do you mean, Lamar Jackson?
Lamar, I mean, he can't play every position, can he?
Yeah, no. God. Hey, when that guy gets going, though, there's not a more exciting athlete, I don't think, in the world than that guy. Oh, my God, is he good. Holy smokes.
It'd be so nice if he had other teammates just like him.
Actually, you know what? I nearly put this on Facebook. I was just thinking, what is it about him? Oh, my gosh. Okay, so when they won, whatever, round one or whatever that was, the wild card game, and then they had it out. Who was it against? Was it the Titans?
Was it the Titans? Yeah, the one. Yes, because it was the year before.
Okay, so they had some dispute about, stepping on logos, yada, yada, yada. Yes. And Lamar Jackson, immediately after the game, Lamar Jackson leaves the field and doesn't shake anybody's hand. And he played amazing in that game. And everybody's like, oh, because he'd never won a playoff game before that week, right? Well, honestly, I saw that. And I meant to go straight to Facebook and put this on so that it was there. But I'm like, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lose next week because you just don't do that. It's a no-no on bloody steroids. And sure as heck, guess what happened? He played amazing. The following week, he got his butt handed to him. I can't remember who they played. Who'd they lose to? Do you remember?
I don't know. The Bills? I don't know. The Bills, I think. But listen.
Lose the Bills?
It's the era of the COVID.
They lost the Bills.
It's the COVID era. He was being polite.
No, yeah, that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. But that happened.
This is my story. I'm sticking with it.
Anyways, enough about football. Give us the 101. What's your? You got a little bit of wins happening around there, do you not? What's happening?
I am working hard, man, to build some wind. I don't know who the fella is on the Facebook page that just started, who's giving his daily updates of 87 people he called, and he's got 0 yeses, and I'm terrified of that. And more power to him. I absolutely.
Okay, here's what I say. That is going to, in fact, I just said this on our certified call here a couple hours ago. It's going to end one of two ways. And I've actually spoken to Billy, and I spoke to him 48 hours ago. He either gives up or he creates a $200,000 a year coaching business falling off a log. Because it's like the really fat guy going to the gym. He's building muscle. So every one of those calls, every one of those no's, every one of those no-shows is just building muscle that he's going to be bulletproof. So, and by the way, he's going to get clients. He 100% will get clients. It's just a matter of you got to pound through. And of course, the strategy is lacking preeminence because you're cold calling, but this is just the nature of it. So his strike rate is going to be less than the average, but he's going to be just fine. just fine.
Yeah, I mean, more power to him. I would think after 87 calls, he would have honed it on just,
But that is it. This is it. So I got to tell you,
that's a lot.
sure, I know. But by the way, they're auto dials, and he's talking to 10. He's not talking to 87. This is an auto dialer doing all the calling for him.
It's
and then
not a rotary? What?
Say again?
It's not a rotary?
My dad still got one of those phones. Get him on. Anyways, all right. Other than that, you all good?
Great. Doing a lot of networking.
Okay, beauty. Okay, we appreciate you, buddy. Gonna put Sharon back on mute. My boy Peter, he's got his hand up. Actually, watch this. Peter, I want to know if I'm going to open him up, and if his hand isn't actually up, it's going to be hilarious, because we were on a certified call a couple hours ago, and his hand was up the whole time. Then I put his hand down, and then it went up, and then it went, and I put it down, then it went up, and I'm like, oh, it must be like an emergency. So I'm expecting there must be some 911 call happening from Peter, and then his hand kept going up. There it goes. It just went up again. Peter Jepson, there he is.
We're on, and it shows my hands down, but I don't know why.
No way. Did you not put your hand up?
No, I did not.
Oh, there's a setting at your end for sure that.
Well, it happened with Adrian Wednesday over and over. Anyway.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a setting at your end. You must have something funky going on where you got your.
Well,
like at the top where the hand is it colored? Like, do you see how you put your hand up?
Well, your hand right now. There's a hand with a green arrow pointing up. Isn't that up?
Yeah, that's up.
Okay, but if I push it now, it's down.
Okay, no, it's the opposite on yours because it just went on. There you go. So click it again.
It just went up to me.
Okay, so so when you've got it up, yours got some funky thing. It's messed up. So when yours says up, it's actually, and then it just went up again.
I just pushed it down. Is that up then for you?
Yep. Yeah, it is. There you go.
I see. So mine is just opposite of what you know. Okay. Shoot.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, classic. Anyways.
So one
all
of the
good.
May I ask a question? Is that okay?
Yes, please. Yes,
so
please.
One of the takeaways is to build a case study using the profit acceleration software. So if I'm working with the mortgage broker, I would build a case study with the mortgage broker in advance so I could show an example. So isn't that a good idea to do an example? And then do their own real numbers for sure. But isn't it? It is. I mean, it seems it would give me a good experience. Besides that, it would set them in. But I know them well. I am one in insurance as well. So when I build these cases, I mean, I can just use my own experience that I have a ton of.
Yep. So the answer is yes. I mean, imagine if you just went and built 10 case studies. And you could just think of all the different, I mean, you've literally trained hundreds of them, right? So you just go and, cookie cutter. One guy did live events, and another guy did cold calling, and another guy did networking, and another guy did, Facebook ads, and just create, 5 to 10 different case studies. And then you could, your drip campaign that we were talking about earlier?
Yes.
That could be your drip campaign where every day, like, I don't know if my daily email, right? Either today I think it is. I sent out like a Harley Davidson, what I learned from Harley Davidson, like something like that. Use that as a framework.
Yeah, and your Fiverr, Fiverr.
Yeah.
I looked that up, and I've got somebody on the line. Boy, that's a tremendous resource. Jeez,
it's unreal. Yeah, it's in.
So drip. I'm headed. I'm building, and I'm going. This is exciting.
I love it. And for anybody listening, if you're wondering, Fiverr is just like, if you check it out, it's Fiverr with an extra R. So Fiverr and then R.com. And if you check it out, and there's people on there, and they'll do services, whatever you just go look at it, and you're going to see services of all shapes and sizes, and they do it for $5. And obviously the goal is that, they basically create some action for them. They learn something, but more to the point, they do it for $5, and they're hoping that they impress you, and you buy more from them for proper prices. So yeah, Fiverr is a really cool resource if you want something done. So there you go.
Yeah. So it acts kind of like a virtual assistant.
Yeah, exactly what it does.
Thank you, Carl. I'm going to put my hand back down.
Okay, it went up again. It went up. Oh, there we go. Oh, classic. Okay, buddy. Cool. I'm going to put you back on mute. Appreciate you, bud. Okay, Steve Cantrell, we are coming for you. He's got a question. Okay, this is something about hands, but let's ask him. Let's open him up anyways. Steve Cantrell, how goes it?
Put me on the spot. I believe on mine, I've got a hand with a little green arrow.
Yep.
The situation where I want to go to. So it says raise my hand. So click on the green. So if I do that, I should have raised my hand to you.
Hang on a second. I got to go back to, yep, your hand's up.
Okay, now if I says the red arrow says take my hand down. So
There
it's
you go.
kind
Now
of
you're down.
Yeah, it's kind of an action command.
Yeah, there we go. So tell us, what about the software? Put you on the spot. Give me a question on the software.
Love it. I just wish there was a way that I could put a prototype in to copy and paste. Excuse me.
Yeah, but you know what? It's good practice. It's good practice to go and, to be honest with you, to go fill up. I'd just encourage you to go fill out, 5 or 6, because it's good. Yeah, it's good practice. Which very obvious.
A bit.
So what do you got cooking? So inspire all of the coaches here listening. Give us the good word.
Here. Well, last year was kind of slow, and this year is ramping up and trying to bring on board a VA and move that way. Get somebody to actually pick up the 2,000-pound phone.
That's it. I love it. The 2,000-pound phone. We all know about that one. Sharon loves it. We just opened up Sharon. She loves the 2,000-pound phone. All right. Okay, buddy. Well, I'm going to put you back on mute. Anything else for us?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, beauty. I'm going to put you on mute. And once again, guys, we got a Q&A call going. You got to hit me with Q. Speaking of Q&A, though, what we're going to be doing, I don't know if it's going to be next week. Actually, you better decide that right here, right now, so I don't confuse anybody. But this call, we are moving this call from, it's at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. We're moving it back to the same time as the Tuesday call. So they're both going to be at noon Pacific and 3 o'clock Eastern, FYI. So in fact, I'll make that official as of next week. I'll send Craig a message, which shows I'm talking to you guys. We're going to get that done. So I need a question here from you guys. Okay, there we go. Craig now knows. Okay, Cool Bananas. I need a question here, guys. I'm going to open up my boy. Where is he? Tony Plies. Tony Plies has always got lots of action going. So he's self-muted. Tony, if you want to say hi, rev everybody up. Hopefully ask me a question on the software, which is what we're here to do. That would be good. Tony Plies. Don't be shy, buddy. Here he comes. I can see that he's looking at his computer. I can actually see that from here, guys. You're looking at your computer. Tony is. There he is.
Carl.
Tony Plies. What's happening?
All right,
Dan,
man.
what's
Everything's
happening?
How about you?
Go.
Oh, yeah.
No rest for the wicked.
That's good. I really liked your Harley Davidson email this morning. You were spot on with that.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Oh, thank you, bud. Thank you.
Yeah, because most people wouldn't know that I own a Harley Davidson, but the interesting thing.
The way that you said that, I'm like, hang on a minute. This guy owns a Harley. I got to ask him. Tell us about your Harley, man. What is it, a hog or what is it?
It's a Fat Boy. But, when you were talking about the scarcity issue of it, when I bought mine, I was looking for a particular color that they call denim black. It's like a flat black. So you pay an extra $400 to make your motorcycle look like it's not finished painted yet. But I had to search 7 states to find it.
No way. Oh, there we go.
Way. And then when I found it, I actually happened to be in New York, and the salesperson called me, and he said, "Hey, that Fat Boy that you wanted?" He goes, "I found one. We got one coming in, and it was supposed to be blue. We got a black one, a denim black." He goes, "You want it?" And I said, "Well, sure, absolutely. I mean, I've been waiting for it." And he said, "Well, there's a guy here now asking about it. I think he's going to make a deal on it." I'm like, "Just put it on my American Express."
Boom. I love it, man. At my own heart.
But here's the thing about it. You know what? I get on my Goldwing to go on the highway.
Oh, yeah, you got one of those too. Damn, you're the right guy to be sending that email. You're a
Oh yeah,
motorbike
man.
guy.
I've had a
Been
motorcycle
riding.
since I was 7 years old.
I was gonna say riding for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yep. But anyway, on the software, I don't really have a question for you. I just wanted to see, I like to get on here because I know there's always an update that I miss or something like that. So it's always good to see what's going on. And I know that with Pat and the way he's been working on it and new updates coming along every week, you really just can't miss one of these sessions because they're always really
valuable. I got to tell you, we've got some updates. Wait till you see. I talked to Pat earlier here, and he, I don't know if it's next week. It might be the week after, but there's a number of updates coming, like big time. But one next week or the week after, we got some magic coming. So,
well, I'll tell you,
there you go.
The digital software. You know how I work with a lot of auto dealers, and they're not really coachable, even though I have had a couple of clients that are dealers that I coached. But with the digital software, now that's an area where you've got some real possibilities with these dealers. And a lot of people may not know it, but dealers are mandated by their manufacturers to spend half of their advertising budget on digital. And most of them have a digital manager, that sort of thing, but they really don't know a whole lot. They know a little bit about Google and Google Analytics, and that's about the strength of what they have there. So when you take a look at an auto dealer, their advertising budget is set on the number of vehicles that they sell. And the average right now, and this is on your invoice, when you buy a car, you'll see that you're paying for the advertising, but it's right now it's about $585 per vehicle. So, you can do quick math on that. And when you have $585 a vehicle and the dealer is only selling, even a small dealer would sell 100 vehicles a month, that's $58,500 a month they get to spend in advertising. Now, that's not really coming out of their pocket, but, they act like it is. But from a digital standpoint, that's $29,250 that they have to spend on digital advertising, and you've got the software that's going to blow them out the doors because nobody, and I mean nobody, can walk in and do that. And when you're looking at television stations, radio stations, newspapers, that sort of thing, they walk in and they give them a package and say, hey, buy some pre-roll on our website or some skins on our website or something like that. And the dealers have nowhere to go with that money other than dealer.com or something like that, and they spend all kinds of money because they don't know what else to do. So that's a piece of software right there that I was excited to see come in because that's going to bring in a lot more money from dealers. And if you like working with dealers, this is a tool that you've got now that no one is going to have.
Love it. And I love it. There you go, man. That's again, but when you're niching and whatnot, you get on the, not so much the ground. I mean, that industry inside out and back right side up. But that's just, the inner workings of it. I love it. Mm-hmm. Good job, man.
Well, I've always told you the dealers were my drug money. So you've been trying to get me sober for a while and it's working finally, but.
I know it's good. It's a hard niche to play with, but they got some dough, man.
Yep.
Cool bananas. Okay, Tony, we appreciate you, buddy. Enjoy that Harley. Whereabouts do you live? Remind me, where do you live? Are you on the Harley now, or you got it packed away?
No, man, I'm in Iowa. We only get a ride about 6 months out of the year.
Yeah, it's like us here. Yeah, we're lots of snow, but that's all right. We get out skiing.
Cool. Yeah, it's a whiteout right now.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Ouch. In New Jersey, they got like 2 feet of snow. It's crazy. So there you go.
Yeah, we're going to get about a foot.
Beauty. Okay, Tony, appreciate you, buddy. Going to put you back on mute. Sharon has got a question. Let's open up Sharon. Yo, Sharon. What's the question?
Hey, man. So I have been networking out the wazoo, and I have literally on the 15th, I have back-to-back appointments all day long, 15-minute increments, just to qualify the people. But the question I keep getting is, what is the client that you want? And I always, I don't want anybody who doesn't have any track record, because how am I going to generate numbers? I can't, how do you make up the numbers for a startup? Or, where to start if you don't even have that revenue and gross and net?
Okay, great question. Okay, so I wouldn't say that, because I can tell you that I remember back in the day, I sat with a gal, I can't remember the exact numbers now, But what was her her total revenues were like $8,000 from the previous, because she was a stay-at-home mom, and hubby had a career full-time job or whatever, right? Earned all the dough, and she was kind of just getting this. It was a web design business, and she did like $6,000 the year before, and I sold her, and I don't know the number, but a $18,000 coaching package, and her revenues were $6,000 the previous year, not profits, but revenues. So sometimes when you sit with people that haven't got started, I mean, this is, you're a painter and you're starting with an empty canvas. This is going to be a beautiful place. So I'd be cautious with that. And by the way, when you take on that company, let's just say they have literally zero sales, but you say, look, let's assume that you did $100,000 of gross revenues last year, 20% net, 50% gross. Here we go, and just start from there. That's how you can do it. That's how I do it. You just, like I said, just look, let's just plunk in some numbers here, so that we've got something to play with. Like I would say, like, hey Sharon, what do you think that you'll do next year, in total revenues? And let's say that we'd established that your unit of sale is going to be $10,000. Like I say, what do you do? What do you do? And you say business coaching, and I say, how much are you going to charge? You say $10,000. Okay, perfect. So if we get you 10 clients in 12 months, that will be $100,000. Would you agree that that's a pretty conservative number? You say yes, right? I say, you know what? I want to water this down just a little bit more. I'm going to put $75,000 in here because I want to make sure that I over deliver, in the instance that we work together. I plunk in $75,000. I go 50% gross, 20% net. Boom, we're off to the races. So in other words, I wouldn't just pluck $100,000 out of fresh air. I would give it context. I just did. Boom, there it is, right? You paint houses for a living, Sharon. How much does it cost to paint a house? X, $10,000. And that, when you go in, will you be doing roughly $10,000 jobs? Yes. Okay. Do you think we can get 10 people to let you paint their house per year? Yes. $100,000. Boom. Okay, let's use that as the framework as we roll this out. That's how I do it.
I wish I could get words out of my mouth, because I'm showing this gal that she's just starting off. She's earned $35,000, in her first 9 months or whatever. So yep. I used the number, and $12,000 I find for her in 45 minutes, right? And this is moderate, I'm being conservative with it. And I guess $11,000 additional for someone earning $35,000 is a big.
It's huge. But that being said, you just should have inflated, because she's not going to do 35 again. Or maybe she is. Then you know what? But if you could put 35 in, but then I would just be doing 10% improvements instead of 5.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? That's and like you said, she doesn't have a clue what's happening. That's the other. So what you are doing, again, I want to make sure everybody hears, like, the mistake I think that you made, I think you'll agree with, is that you started with a really small number, $35,000, but that's what she said. So that's what you did. So you should have inflated your percentages, but you kept them super conservative at 3 to 5%. Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have just done 10% in a few, and you would have got her to $100,000. And by the way, when somebody does $35,000 gross, to make a 10% improvement is nothing. Make sense?
Definitely.
Like 10% to $35,000 is $3,500. If you help her do a market dominating position, what did she do? What was her business?
She's a therapist for trauma patients.
A therapist she's going to be a busy gal. She's busy right now?
That's right. But
yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh, you're totally going to make money off these people.
Yeah, well, she is. I mean, they've never been busier. I mean, the suicide hotlines and whatnot are through the bloody roof, and that is a bloody shame, by the way. And by the way, what's busier than, like, the suicide hotlines are running hot, but you know what the busiest suicide hotlines are? For teens. So just for everybody's, it is like, oh my God, you throw up in your mouth. That's what you do. But anywho, There we go. So she's
I
busy.
think I could help
So
her. She's scared to.
30, yeah, actually, let's just talk that through too. The other thing she did 30, look, does she want to make 300, like, does she want to get to 100 grand, 300 grand? Like, I would
Absolutely.
establish that.
And,
Yeah,
and
she does.
by the way, I think she's completely competent and can.
Yeah. So let me just tell you what she's doing wrong. This might just be good for everybody listening, right? I don't need to spend 6 minutes with her. And I'll tell you this, right? She sits in a chair and then her clients sit in a chair opposite her, tell her they're her problems all day. It's totally exhausting, very difficult job. And then she charges them an hourly rate. If they show up, she hits them for the hourly rate. And if they don't show up, she doesn't do the hourly rate, right? Well, a group, what she needs is similar to business coaching, like she needs a group, right? So what she should do is use that preliminary session as lead generation. She can do it for free. She can do it inexpensively. She can do it the way she's doing it. She uses that as the same way that we use the profit acceleration call as a sales call, right? It's a consultation, but it's a sales call at the end of the day. Well, she should be taking them from that session into her group thing. And let's say she does Saturday, Sunday. See, because you can't fix anything in an hour. I wish we had Matt McNeil here. Matt McNeil is a master at this. But anyway, so she can't fix anything in an hour. Just it doesn't happen. You really need total immersion. That's why Tony Robbins does 4-day events. He doesn't do hourly consulting, right? So she should be taking them from that 1 hour dealio appointment. And then of course they book next week. And when she gets full, then because here's what happens to a good therapist is you come for a week, you get a little bit of relief, not real relief, but a little bit of a relief. And then she can't, or he can't see you for 2 weeks. So what happens? It's like going to the gym for an hour a week every 2 weeks. You just stay home and eat potato chips because you're wasting your time, right? So same idea here. So what she should be doing is having a framework where she uses those calls, like those appointments, as lead generation, and not just lead generation. There's a little bit of that hourly stuff because that's the nature of it, right? If some people want that, need that, she does it. But you come in, she sits with you, tell me, it's the couch dealio. Tell me a little bit about XYZ. Sorry to hear that. Here's what you need. And then she sells them into a 2-day, 3-day total immersion, Tony Robbins-like experience, where you come in and she really does some work, but you pay a couple grand, say, $1,000 to $5,000 for that group work. It's total immersion. She does 10 to 50 people, maybe 100 people. She gets good at it, but let's assume it's going to be 10 people, $5 grand. That's 50 grand. 10 people, $2 grand. It's 20 grand on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's a model that she could crush it with. And right now with coronavirus, again, there's no limit of people that want to, chat to her and speak to her. So again, she should be using those calls to sell them into a proper program because they don't need an hourly consult. They need total immersion and other people going through the same thing. The number one reason for procrastination is loneliness. It's a little bit the same with mental health, which I know lots about. Doing it in a group setting with other people in your same situation it's a tremendous benefit, not the opposite. So there you go. You like it?
I do. I mean, like literally some of her people are living with their abusers and they don't have that luxury, but the ones who are like, family members of homicide victims, like I could see her doing it that way. Yeah.
Yep. And so this comes back to her target audience. Like, who is she targeting? Right. And if that's the kind of work she wants to be doing, people living with their abusers, et cetera, like which is a really, really hard existence. But if these aren't the type of people that she wants to be working with, she can, and by the way, getting them away for 3 days would be challenging. You're right. That would be difficult. So she would need to adjust her target audience to do that effectively to people that could get away for 3 days. Very good point.
Thanks. I love the idea.
Cool beans.
For those who
all right. Yeah, that's a winner wins. The bottom line is we're really, if we rise up 30,000 feet, I just described a business model that works for a counselor or a psychiatrist or marriage counselors. Same thing. It's the exact same. They sit there like, I can't even believe that people do this for a living. And I hope I just think that's just the worst existence ever, is to sit in a chair and stare at people as they tell you their problems all day. Because what ends up happening is all those problems, like there's a thing called osmosis, right? So some of those problems bleed into you. It's impossible not to. It's a really, really hard gig. So the business model of marriage. What's that?
I thought that's what you do.
No, I don't sit in a chair and listen to people's problems. Most definitely. We discuss success stories. That's what we want to be doing, the whole idea of these calls. But no. So that, but as a business model, totally, like I'm just describing like a marriage counselor. If they do what I described, use that as lead generation, do a total immersion experience for 3 days where they pay real money. And if it's $5,000, then, but they don't have the $5,000. Well, you let them pay it off $500 a month for 10 months, right? But it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Get your butt in here. And yes, they'll get ripped off once in a while, and the credit card will stop going through. That's fine, but the numbers at the end of the year will look about 1 million times as exciting. So there you go. And the results are better, by the way. So I hope that helps. Q beans. All right. Okay, folks. Well, I got no questions here. Oh, Billy Dixon is here. He's becoming famous in this community, by the way. Where is he? Billy Dixon, you handsome son of a gun. You got to unmute yourself. There he is. Billy Dixon is live.
Famous or infamous? I don't know.
What's happening, man?
So, quick question. I met somebody in a Facebook group, and I had put an offer out there. I said, hey, I'm looking for 3 business owners to do a profit acceleration assessment, and I'll give you a detailed 10-page report. And it's totally free. Like I spoke to I made friendlies with the group owner, and I'm like, hey, I just want to for this value. He's like, yeah, that's awesome value. Go ahead, share. So somebody took me up on the offer, which was kind of exciting. Until I met with him, and he's broke. So what he does is he runs a network on Roku. And
Roku. I do. What is Roku? Remind me. I know what I've heard of it. What is it?
It's kind of like Fire Stick, I guess, or a Netflix type of deal. So he's looking for independent film type of people, short films. He's looking for his customers basically are content creators. He's trying to get content creators on his network, and also advertisers. But he's not really making any income. So going through the profit acceleration software with him, it was it was pretty much like a practice swing for me.
Okay, so he's broke, but want to talk through? Want to know how to help him?
Well, I want to know how to help him, and the idea that kind of popped into my head was maybe there could be a mutually beneficial relationship there, a joint venture type of relationship.
Between you and him?
Yeah, because I figure if he's reaching out to the local small businesses to say, hey, would you like to advertise?
100%.
By the way, part of our advertising package is we offer a free session with our consultant or something like that. And he's gonna share.
So here's the question that I would have for him. Like this, once again, so it comes back to you need a business model. My podcast, the last couple of weeks, I've talked about building a business model and the importance of it, and then the framework. So if you like this topic, I'd encourage everybody to go and listen to the last couple of weeks. But here it is. This guy, I would be amazed if he's making no money. He's got no business model. So first of all, the question is, what does he do for free to bring people in? And the answer is probably what's the answer? What does he do to generate leads? Does he have a freebie? What's a compelling offer on the software? Do you have one?
You're talking about myself or him?
No, him.
Oh, no, he doesn't really have a compelling offer. He said some recurring income right now. Like he's got a couple of content creators signed up. But his recurring revenue, he said, was somewhere around like $1,200 to $2,000 per month.
Okay, so he's got to build that up, right? Okay, so, but he needs people to create TV shows in order for him to build recurring income in a proper business, right?
Right. So yeah, he doesn't really have an offer. He's just pitching to people, like, hey, if you're gonna go to NBC, they're gonna be way more expensive, and you don't really have a name for yourself there, and they're gonna control your content.
Yep. So here's what I would. So there's a lot of people out there who think they have, like the makings of the next great YouTube channel, but they don't know how to structure it. They don't know how to create the anatomy. Like, like before I write a book or a program, I build a table of contents, and I don't start until I have the table of contents drilled down. You know what I mean? Because that's just, I've built programs for 2 decades, right? That's the way I do it. So the same thing. So what he could do is, he's got his advertising, and his offer is that you have got, if you think you have a TV show within you, I can help you free, and it's going to be free of charge. We'll put that at the beginning or the end, but I can help you at my cost, free of charge, build the anatomy. I'll help you create your own TV show free of charge. If you think you got one in you, I'm the guy that's going to pull it out. Boom. There's his offer. Now, the problem is he's got to go and build the anatomy of all these TV shows, right? Well, the super good news is the anatomy of any show is, if you look at Seinfeld and you look at Breaking Bad and then you look at Friends, they've all got like you know what I mean? Like there's an anatomy to it, really straightforward. Conflict being what needs to live right in the middle of every one of those shows. Otherwise, you don't have a episode of Seinfeld, Friends, or Three's Company, whatever. You need to have conflict. So he helps them draw that out. Like I was looking at doing a, like a YouTube series, yet a little bit like Undercover Billionaire, if you know that, right? And sat down, and the guy, basically we built a table of contents, and we built an anatomy of it, and it was very straightforward. That could be what he basically does for folks, free of charge. And I would, if he knows how to market, he will be very busy doing that, because how many people are sitting there? A better offer, how to create $1 million YouTube channel. There, I just crushed that. Forget everything I just said. There's the new offer. How to build a $1 million per annum, how to build a $1 million YouTube channel. That's it. There's his offer. And he's got to put it out there, and people are going to say, sign me up. And then he does a consultation where he's going to build the anatomy. So he does the equivalent of the profit acceleration software, but for a content creator that wants to create a killer show on YouTube, and bingo, bango, bongo.
I love that. I'm going to be meeting with him in a few days. I'm going to bring that to the table.
Okay, so now the problem you've got, Billy, he's got no money, right? But if we've all been there. Good news is, you need, like, you're going to, this is your MBA that you're about to do with him. And the good news is you're going to get paid instead of pay, but your money is going to be delayed a little bit. So what I would do with him is I would say, okay, look, Dave, whatever his name is, I'm $2,000 a month normally. You can't afford me. We've established that. I ain't free. I'm not working for free, but I'm prepared to lose money to have you kick some, what. Like, you just say don't tell him what I just told you, and say, I have got an offer that is going to knock you. Look, just everybody do this. Billy, are you in front of a computer?
I'm in front of a computer, and I'm writing some notes.
Okay, man, I'm going to go here. Watch this. This is how I would do it. I'm going to Google here. Actually, hang on a sec here, guys. Let me do it. You see how much sanity that I have. What am I looking for? Oh, this is what I'm looking for. I am going to search. How to build everybody should be watching this happening. And here we go. How to create a YouTube channel. Now, I don't send him to this. I want you, and by the way, I could do a lot better homework than this. Okay. and I want you to go and get 3 ebooks. How to build a $1 million YouTube channel. There you go. Product hunt. Okay, so you got to go to school here. This is your MBA, right? But I would go here, and this is basically there's going to be so much content out there that you're going to be able to use to help guide him. But how do you build a $1 million YouTube channel? There's a bunch of people out there. And by the way, is it going to be good product? There's a good chance it's not, right? So you're going to have to go through, maybe 1, maybe 5, maybe 10 of them. And maybe you're going to take 20% of one, 20% another. Like you're going to take 20% of 5 different roadmaps, and you're going to create the one that you like and the one that makes sense and the one that you think that, Adrian and I would give the thumbs up, and you're off to the races. That's what I do, man. But that's going to be his offer, how to build a $1 million. Like you're going to help him build that program out. But again, these things are all over the place, but he doesn't realize it. Making sense?
That's awesome.
There you go, buddy. And again, so I say with your fees, so you say you have $2,000 a month, it's going to work for free. So what we'll do is we'll do it 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, etc. Right? Like you're going to scale. What did I say? You're going to scale up your fees. That's what you're going to do. Like it?
Like it.
2 bananas, buddy. All right, hang on a sec here. Where am I? Okay, cool. So that's it, man. Go to work.
Thanks, Carl.
Right. No worries, buddy. Put you back on mute. That's it. But guys, again, just so where my mind went a minute ago as Billy's talking about this guy, I'm like, what does this guy do for a living? All right. And again, he builds TV shows. And then I immediately think, what is an offer that would knock everybody on their butt? More to the point, not everybody, but who would, like, what's an offer that would absolutely knock the targeted audience on their butt? And how to build a $1 million YouTube channel. I got to tell you, we almost nailed it. We might have nailed it and might need some refinement, but Billy will work that out. He'll work hard enough to, get there. And the guy's going to pay him the whole time through. He doesn't have a lot of money. So it's going to have to be a back-ended thing. And then I'm looking for a killer offer, and it's a business model. And just think of what we do with profit acceleration software. I'm thinking of a freebie that I can bring people in, so that I can, pour gasoline on my lead generation and then, charge them on the back end. Let me give you guys an example. My first ever business coach made $330,000 in his first 6 months as a business coach, right? So how did we do it is the question, right? It wasn't magic. I knew who I was targeting. So again, I headhunted him, but the guy owned a networking organization. So I want you to think like BNI, but think like BNI, but his own private deal. And I sat down with him. I said, what do I buy from you? He says, networking is what I sell. How much is it? It's $800 for 12 months. I said to him, what do I buy from you for $10,000? He didn't have an answer, right? So, which is not surprised. Of course, he had a dumb look on his face like, damn, I should really have that. What I did is we turned his networking became free. It was a bit of a hybrid, truth be told, but it's a longer story that I'm going to just put in fast forward here. He basically did the networking for free, poured gasoline on his lead gen, because who's not going to come? They would come for free. He crushed the competition, by the way, that were charging $800 for networking. Go, hey, what's this jerk off doing this for free for? What is he, crazy? Well, what did he do? Everybody who signed on, back then I called it a sales and marketing audit. Like I had a full-blown 5-step process. But basically he did a sales and marketing audit for everybody who signed up. He would take them from free networking group to let's make sure that we maximize your results from the, the group. He would do a one-to-one session with them, roughly 90 minutes. Just think of what you do with profit acceleration software. He would go, do you have an upsell? Do you have a downsell? Do you have a cross-sell? Do you have a proper upfront offer? I just went through that with Billy, right? A compelling offer. The answer is no, 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 no. Always. That's the cut. If you read my email today on the Harley Davidson, I talked about, creating a cut and then offering a Band-Aid. Don't offer a Band-Aid before you cut them. That's why you got to go through the Q&A dealio. So he did that. And then he went, gosh, like networking's great and you need us and you need this. But what you really need is a proper business model. And they go, yeah, I know. Gosh, well, I'll tell you what, let me sign you on. I normally charge X, but I'm willing to do it for X minus, you know what I mean? I'm willing to do it for this, the old, he just selling them. And then basically instead of selling them an $800 memberships, he was doing networking for free, poured gasoline on his lead generation. And then 3 of 10 people that took him up on the free networking would buy a $10,000 to $25,000 package. So X factor, guys, 7 of 10 people never spent $1 with him, but 3 in 10 did. And he crushed his previous, he did $330,000 in 6 months, not 12 months, in 6 months, right? So metaphor of what I just described with the marriage counselor, with the counselor, with the YouTube dealio, create an offer up front you can do for free, like a compelling offer, and then have a business model that you take them from, basically a really low end, easy service to something that's worth 10 to 25 grand. Okay. A little X, like a little star here, is that if they don't have a $10,000 unit of sale or above, this doesn't work. They got to have that. Like when this guy goes and builds your YouTube channel and builds your show, he's going to be charging 10 grand, 50 grand, whatever he charges. And to really create one of those things and do a good job is worth a lot of money. So he needs to be charging that. If he doesn't have the $10,000 unit of sale, this doesn't work. But if I'm coaching you, what do? It's like the guy that I talked about earlier, my first ever business coach. He had an $800 unit of sale. I said, you're an idiot. I do that for free. And then I'll help you build a $10,000 to $25,000 consulting package, which is what they actually need, by the way, because they don't really need networking. And we knocked it out of the park, like big time. So actually, and one more thing that's just very relevant. I actually ironically just said this earlier today in our all the guys that are building, teams of coaches. I've got 10, 50, 85 coaches underneath them. Here's an X factor of what I just described with the coach who made $330,000 in his first 6 months. He was doing networking. A huge thing that he was missing is that he thought people were signing up for referrals and more business, which is partially true. But people want to be educated, but they want to be entertained. You guys probably have been listening to the podcast. You hear me say that all the time, right? That's why on the podcast, we attempt to be a little bit funny. If you read my emails, I open it up. More people read my emails for the jokes. And if I send an email and I leave a joke out, I get not hate mail, but I get people abusing me going, I went to your email, man, and I'm used to seeing something funny. So that's why that's why I do it. It's pretty obvious, but that's what's happening, right? Like I'm trying to be entertaining and then delivering something. But at the end of the day, my job is I legitimately just want to give one coaching thing to everybody every single day, because I believe mastery is mastery is you not competing with others. Mastery is you competing with you yesterday. So just every day, a little better, a little better, a little better, a little better. I took that on, a long time ago. And I got to tell you, it served me. I can't begin to tell you how well it served me. And if you understand compounding, that's what ends up happening, because it just stops being one thing. It becomes one thing on top of another thing, on top of another thing, on top of another thing. And at some stage you become dangerous. So I'd encourage everybody to take that on. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Something about business model. Can't remember. Oh, you got to be entertaining. So what I taught him is that he was doing networking, and I said, man, you got to make this joint fun. Like if you want me to come, it better be fun, or I'm not coming, right? Like I'm not coming to try and see if, the massage therapist might spend some money with me. That's just not what I'm doing, right? The reason I'm coming is to have a good time, and some business might come of it. But if I come here, I'm not going to keep coming unless I can say that this was a enjoyable experience. I think it's poorly worded, but you get the idea. So if you wanted it to be fun, tell me, would you sit me down? Like, what happens if you sit me down? It's a networking group, right? You stick a badge on my chest with my name. That's kind of lame. And then you put one guy beside me, and he hasn't showered for a week, it feels like. And then a gal beside me, and let's just say that she's in the totally wrong industry and not the person that I want to be sitting beside the guy across the table 3 down, because there's my home run. Well, don't sit me down and then not let me move, right? That doesn't make any sense. That's not it's taking away my entertainment, right? So what do? Stand them up, move them around. Music, if you're going to entertain me, you need music. And if you're going to entertain me, do you play elevator music or something upbeat, like, top 40 type stuff? The answer is obvious. And turn it up and not too loud that it's annoying. So there's like a happy medium there. Good looking people in the room, get them moving around, be funny. Absolutely got to be funny. If you're not funny, get somebody up there who is funny, because that's absolutely part of it. Not difficult to be funny with the people. All you got to do is make fun of yourself and everybody will laugh every time. So just do stuff like that. Anyway, so that's a little bit of an X factor. And he crushed the competition, by the way, because he started doing what everybody else his competitors were doing for free. Everybody joined forces. And then again, only 3 in 10 people were buying. It was actually higher than that because he was a, again, seasoned sales guy and doing bang up. But I'm trying to give you guys a framework. If the marriage counselor does freebie sessions up front, if only 3 in 10 buy the $5,000 3-day package, at the end of 12 months, when you do the math, she'll kill it if she has any marketing skills whatsoever. And really, marketing skills is just actually putting the offer out there. If I was a chiropractor, anybody here looking for a chiropractor? Okay, unless you've been in a car accident. Sorry, but for your bad luck, by the way, if that's the case, probably not. So guess what? Don't advertise chiropractic. Terrible idea. What would I do? Massage therapist. Massage, anybody interested in getting a massage? Literally, as I say it, you just got a sore neck. Guess what? Advertise free massage, couple massage, sports massage, this massage, that massage. And then what are you doing? You go picture downstairs and upstairs at the chiropractic clinic. People are coming in for the free massage, and guess what her job is, or his job at the free massage, is to get you upstairs to see the chiropractor. How do you do that? You tell a story. What does every story need? The same thing that Seinfeld, Three's Company, and Friends needs for every episode. That is conflict. What does conflict look like? Hey, you got a sore neck, hey? Yeah, you got a sore back, whatever, right? I'm like, oh, have you ever heard, do you know who Jim McMahon is? They say yes, they say no. They say no. 85 Bears, won the Super Bowl. Think of like Tom Brady light. He was the most popular guy, bit of a bad boy, Harley Davidson riding Tom Brady, right? Most popular guy in the league by 100 miles. In 85, he was like the creme de la creme of quarterbacks and on the front of Sports Illustrated, etc. Well, here's the story of Jim McMahon. Starts really amazing, but doesn't end so well, where he was going, he's, if you know anything about football, right, these guys get hit in the head, and that for some of them, this is not an ideal scenario. There's some damage there. Well, Jim McMahon has got early onset dementia, and basically they just looked at it and they thought it was from all the headshots, because he didn't play like a quarterback. He was a quarterback that played like a linebacker. Well, he went to go see a chiropractor because he'd been seeing doctor and specialist and brain specialist and neurosurgeons. Well, he went to the chiropractor. They tweaked his neck, and he said it was like a toilet flushed. And basically what happened is he wasn't getting, because his neck was so bad, he wasn't getting enough oxygen. He wasn't getting enough oxygen to his brain, right? And it was actually literally created early onset dementia. They didn't catch it quick enough. So any damage that was done, he's still got, but it's not getting any worse. And now he's living as normal of a life as he possibly can. It's never going to get any worse, because all he needed was a little tweak. So my question for you, Mr. Massage-free patient, do you ever get lethargic when you don't feel like you should get lethargic? Or you ever felt tired when you feel like you shouldn't feel tired? Let me just tell you, 99.5% people just said yes. Say, oh, wow, well, here's what you might want to do. We've got a special test. We do it upstairs where we can actually check your neck and make sure, because you know what you might be experiencing, unbeknownst to you, you might be able to like dramatically increase the level of energy that you've got day to day. I feel like you drink a Red Bull 3 times a day without drinking one. If you get the right amount of oxygen, you should go upstairs and do a test and get them to do whatever they call it, right? Boom. You see, there was conflict in the middle of that story conveniently. Go up. And by the way, guess what? 3 in 10 people go upstairs. You just got to continue to run the ads for the massage therapy. And then she's got to continue to tell that story, which she'll get better at it. He'll get better at it, get more people upstairs. And you have just poured gasoline on lead gen for a chiropractor. The exact same formula that I use for the chiropractor is the one that I use for the massage therapist, which is the one I used when I opened up Billy earlier for his YouTube channel, like for the client. So I don't know. I don't know if that's helpful, guys. Hopefully that's helpful. Just thinking about, lead generation just thinking business model. And again, if you like that, you guys might want to talk about, or might want to think about going to see my podcast for the last couple of weeks, because I went in depth on business model basically in a couple of different episodes. So there you go, folks. I have got to jet. I've got something coming up here in 3 minutes, but anybody's got a question, I could open you up quick. Raise your hand, plunk your question in the box. That's what I'm going to do. My boy Billy. I'm going to open up Billy again and see if that helped. Billy, the kid, you're self-muted, buddy. There we go. There he is. Billy, what do you think? Did that help?
Yeah, that's good stuff. Great stuff. Nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Upfront
What's
offer.
that?
I like the storytelling.
Yeah.
That you were talking about. And what's
It's
funny
huge,
is that as soon as you mentioned massage, I actually felt a crick in my neck here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it, right? Well, want me to tell you something? I want you to think of, let me just tell you a story. I was in high school, and there was this girl that I was absolutely in love with, right? Her name was Carol Mayhew. I couldn't get enough of her. You just thought of your high school sweetheart, yes or no?
Did.
You and everybody listening. That's the power of storytelling, right? Like right there. I didn't even, if I would have continued, again, you would have continued to think of her, boom, boom, boom. This is the power of storytelling, right? So this is how you, this is just how you do it, man. And you lead people, through your words, through your conversation, through your energy, through your passion, right? To basically say, so how can I get this started? Boom. So there you go, buddy. There you go, man. Storytelling is huge. Appreciate you, Billy. I'm going to put you back on mute. All right, folks, that's all I got for you. I'm out of breath. Now, next week, very important. Everybody listening, next week, we are changing this. We are going to noon. So 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. So right now it's going to be 3 hours earlier than it is today. You'll get a go-to. We'll let you know of that. But just an FYI, we're moving this call to the 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 Eastern. Cool bananas. All right, guys, I appreciate you all. Hope that was helpful, and I shall speak to you all next time.